Most people wake up every day already defeated. They think about problems, failures, and limitations before they even take their first step out of bed. But winners, true winners, start their day differently. They see possibilities where others see obstacles. They feed their minds with power, not weakness. They think in terms of abundance, courage, and certainty. Imagine two people standing in front of the same locked door. One says, "It's locked. There's no way through. I'll wait for someone else to open it for me." The other says, "It's locked, yes, but I can find the key, I can knock, I can push harder, or I can climb through the window. There must be a way." That second person is the thinker of possibility. That's the mind of a winner. The truth is, life will always present you with closed doors. Obstacles, problems, barriers, they are inevitable. But what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck is not the size of the obstacle. It's the size of their thinking. Most people look at their circumstances and let them define their future. They say, "I can't start a business. I don't have money. I can't chase my dream. I don't have the right connections. I can't succeed because I failed before." This is the voice of limitation, and it kills more dreams than failure ever could. Now, look at the winners throughout history. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Imagine if after his first 1,000 failures he said, "Well, I guess it's impossible." The world would have stayed in darkness a little longer. But Edison thought in terms of possibility. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This is the mindset of champions. Possibility thinking. When you adopt this way of thinking, you reprogram your brain. Instead of, "Why me?" you ask, "How can I?" Instead of, "It can't be done," you say, "There must be a way." That tiny shift in language, from defeat to possibility, changes your destiny. Napoleon Hill himself proved this. He interviewed hundreds of the most successful people of his time: Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, and he discovered they all had one thing in common. They refused to think in terms of limitation. Ford was told it was impossible to build a car engine the way he envisioned. Engineers said it couldn't be done. Ford replied, "Build it anyway." And after years of persistence, the impossible engine was built. Possibility thinking is contagious. When you train yourself to see possibilities, opportunities will begin to reveal themselves everywhere. The world doesn't change, you do. And once you change your perspective, the world responds. So the next time you face a challenge, pause and ask yourself, am I thinking like the defeated, or am I thinking like the winner? Because the winner's mind always says, there is a way. Desire is the spark that lights the fire of greatness. Without desire, even the most talented individual will achieve little. With desire, even the most ordinary person can achieve the extraordinary. Napoleon Hill called desire the starting point of all achievement, the first step toward riches. Why? Because no one ever moved mountains with lukewarm wishes. No one ever transformed their life by saying, "It would be nice if." True transformation comes only when you say, "I must, I will, nothing can stop me." Think of desire as the fuel in your engine. You can have the best car in the world, the sharpest skills, the biggest dreams, the clearest plans, but without fuel, that car goes nowhere. Desire is that fuel. Consider a young man with a dream to become a writer. He tells himself, "It would be nice if I wrote a book someday." Years pass, but nothing happens. Why? Because his desire is weak, like a flicky, ring candle. The slightest wind, fear, doubt, laziness, blows it out. Now imagine another man. He burns with desire to become a writer. He wakes up thinking about his book. Desire is more than wanting. It is obsession with purpose. It is the willingness to sacrifice comfort, endure hardship, and persist despite rejection. Winners do not casually want success. They hunger for it. They let it consume their thoughts, their energy, their very identity. But here's the secret. Desire must be specific and definite. A vague desire produces vague results. Saying, "I want to be successful," is weak. Saying, "I will earn this much by this date through this method," is power. The universe responds to clarity. Napoleon Hill gave a formula. Write down exactly what you want, set a deadline, decide what you will give in return, and repeat it to yourself daily with emotion and faith. This transforms desire into a burning, living force that drives action. Winners live by this principle. Their burning desire becomes their compass. It guides their decisions, strengthens their resilience, and sharpens their focus. When distractions come, when critics speak, when failures knock, their desire whispers, "Stay the course, keep moving, victory is ahead." So ask yourself, what do you truly desire? Not what society tells you, not what seems safe, but what sets your soul on fire. Find that desire, nurture it, and let it guide you. Because once your desire burns strong enough, no obstacle in the world can stand against you. Failure. This single word has crushed more dreams than poverty, lack of resources, or even bad luck. Yet, if you truly study the lives of winners, you will discover something astonishing. They do not fear failure. In fact, they embrace it, welcome it, and even learn to love it. Why? Because they know what most people don't. Failure is not the end. It is feedback. It is life's way of saying, "Not this way." Adjust, improve, try again. Let me ask you, what would happen if a baby gave up walking after falling down a few times? Humanity would be crawling forever. But babies don't stop. They fall, they wobble, they get bruised, and then they try again until walking becomes second nature. That is the purest proof that failure is never final. Winners keep this childlike spirit alive. They fall, but they rise. They miss the shot, but they shoot again. They lose money, but they rebuild. Each failure becomes a teacher. Think about Henry Ford. Before creating the automobile empire, he went bankrupt 5 times. 5 times. Yet each failure taught him something new about business, about production, about resilience. Those lessons became the foundation of his ultimate triumph. Or Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times while inventing the light bulb. A reporter once asked him how it felt to fail so many times. Edison famously replied, "I did not fail 10,000 times. I simply discovered 10,000 ways that do not work." That is the mindset of a winner, turning defeat into discovery. Napoleon Hill said, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." Winners search for that seed. They don't curse the storm. They ask, "What is this storm teaching me? What skill am I gaining? What strength am I building?" The truth is, most people quit right before success. They hit a wall, feel pain, and walk away. Winners hit the same wall, but instead of quitting, they keep pushing until cracks appear. And eventually that wall falls. So remember this. Failure is not your enemy. It is your ally disguised in rough clothing. Every time you fail, write this question in your mind. What is the feedback here? What lesson is this failure offering me? If you can answer that, you transform failure from a dead end into a stepping stone. Winners don't avoid failure, they use it, and that makes all the difference. Have you ever tried to use a magnifying glass under the sun? A scattered beam of light warms, but a focused beam burns through paper. That is the power of focus. Winners understand this secret. They don't waste energy on gossip, negativity, or distractions. They guard their mind like a fortress, because they know whatever occupies it multiplies. Most people live with scattered focus. They wake up with no clear purpose. Their mind runs in 1,000 directions: social media, other people's opinions, temporary pleasures. By night they are exhausted, but have achieved nothing. Winners, on the other hand, direct all their energy toward their chief aim. They have a clear, definite purpose, and they give their full attention to it. Their focus acts like a laser beam, cutting through obstacles. Consider Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men of his time. When asked the secret of his success, he said, "I can keep my mind focused on something for 5 minutes longer than the average man." That small edge of concentration, multiplied daily, created empires. Napoleon Hill emphasized this in his philosophy. He called it definiteness of purpose. A man without focus is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave. But a man with focus moves steadily toward his harbor, no matter how wild the sea. Winners don't allow negativity to invade their mental space. They understand that the mind is fertile soil. Plant weeds, and weeds grow. Plant powerful thoughts, and success blooms. This is why they avoid gossip, refuse to dwell on failure, and consciously feed their mind with inspiration, knowledge, and vision. But here's the catch. Focus requires discipline. Your mind will want to wander. Your environment will tempt you. The world will try to scatter your energy. Winners train themselves daily. They set routines, cut distractions, and constantly remind themselves of their ultimate goal. Think of a world-class athlete preparing for the Olympics. While others party, they train. While others sleep, they practice. Why? Because their mind is locked on the gold medal. That unwavering focus separates champions from amateurs. When your focus is strong enough, your environment starts to shift. You attract people, ideas, and opportunities aligned with your goal. The universe has a strange way of delivering what you continuously concentrate on. So ask yourself, what has been stealing my focus? Where am I scattering my energy? Then make a decision today. Train your mind to focus only on the goal. Write it down. Visualize it daily. Cut away distractions like a sculptor cuts marble until the masterpiece is revealed. Because in the end, it's not talent, not luck, not even resources that shape destiny. It is focus. Winners know this truth, and they live it every single day. Picture a man standing at a crossroads with 10 different paths in front of him. He takes a few steps down one, then changes his mind and walks back. He tries another, walks a little, then stops again. Hours pass, days pass, years pass. He has been busy moving, but he has gone nowhere. This is the life of most people. They lack definiteness of purpose. They chase too many things at once, or worse, they chase nothing with conviction. Their energy is scattered. Their vision is blurry, and so life gives them exactly what they demand: confusion, inconsistency, and mediocrity. Now picture another man. He arrives at the same crossroads, but his eyes are fixed on one path. He knows where he's going. His pace is steady, his steps are firm, and even when storms rise, he keeps walking. That man is destined to arrive, because definiteness of purpose is his compass. Napoleon Hill wrote, "There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants and a burning desire to possess it." Definiteness of purpose is the foundation of all achievement. Without it, success is accidental and temporary. Think of a magnifying glass again. When the sunlight is scattered, nothing happens. But when focused on one point, it ignites fire. Your mind works the same way. A man with a definite aim can accomplish in a few years what an indeterminate cannot in a lifetime. History proves this. Alexander the Great, by the age of 30, had conquered much of the known world. Why? Because from childhood he carried a definite purpose: to expand and rule. Every action he took was aligned with this vision. Andrew Carnegie had one definite purpose: to become the Steel King of America. Everything else was secondary. That focus created an empire. Definiteness of purpose gives birth to courage. When you know what you want, obstacles lose their power. You stop wasting energy on trivial battles and pour everything into the main war. It also attracts people to you. Why? Because the world respects clarity. People follow leaders who know where they're going. But here's the hard truth. Most people never define their purpose. They float through life, swayed by circumstances, opinions, and fleeting desires. Winners are different. They sit down, dig deep, and declare with certainty, "This is my aim. This is my vision. This is my life's work." If you want to think like a winner, you must define your purpose. Write it, speak it, commit to it. Let it guide your decisions, your time, your habits. With definiteness of purpose, your life shifts from random motion to meaningful progress. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant, grows. Plant weeds of fear, doubt, and failure, and your life will reflect that chaos. Plant seeds of confidence, faith, and success, and your life will bloom with opportunity. Autosuggestion is the tool winners use to plant the right seeds in their subconscious mind. Napoleon Hill described it as the bridge between your conscious mind and your subconscious. By repeatedly affirming your desires, you convince your deeper mind to accept them as truth. And once your subconscious accepts an idea, it works tirelessly, day and night, to turn it into reality. Consider this. Every champion, every successful leader, every great innovator has used autosuggestion, knowingly or unknowingly. Muhammad Ali, the legendary boxer, declared long before he became champion, "I am the greatest." At the time, it sounded like arrogance. But what was he doing? He was programming his mind with the belief that victory was his destiny. His subconscious accepted it, and his actions followed. The world reflects your dominant thoughts. If you constantly say, "I can't do this," your mind believes you. If you say, "I am destined for greatness," your mind also believes you. The subconscious makes no distinction between truth and lie. It accepts what you feed it repeatedly. Napoleon Hill advised writing down your definite purpose, stating exactly what you desire, the time frame, and what you will give in return. Then repeat it aloud daily, morning and night, with emotion and conviction. Why? Because repetition carves belief into the subconscious, and emotion makes it real. Imagine a farmer watering his crop every day. Slowly, invisibly, the seeds sprout. In the same way, autosuggestion waters the seeds of your desire until they grow into visible success. But here's the warning. Autosuggestion works both ways. If you feed your mind fear, doubt, or negativity, those too will manifest. This is why winners guard their thoughts fiercely. They refuse to speak defeat. They refuse to dwell on fear. Instead, they use affirmations like weapons. I am strong. I am capable. I am destined to succeed. When practiced consistently, autosuggestion builds unshakable belief, and belief is the foundation of achievement. The moment your subconscious accepts your goal as truth, you start acting in alignment with it. You make bolder decisions, attract better opportunities, and persist longer, because your inner programming no longer allows quitting.